What's up, my YouTube audience? We'll keep it super concise. I just did this video on Instagram and on Facebook, but here I'll keep it pithy, which means tersely cogent, which means logical, succinct, to a point, here on YouTube. Leading moods and attitudes. This is basically sales, persuasion, seduction, manipulation, mind control, linguistics, all kind of wrapped up into an overarching concept called communication. Communication is to persuade. Now, that's not always a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if you think you're a bad person. I don't think I'm a bad person. When I persuade people, I think, wow, I'm really improving their life. And if they're persuading me, it's while I'll be thinking, wow, they must have a really great life because they're persuading me. Sometimes we get caught up in trances or illusions, like a beautiful woman could persuade me to do something, and then sometimes later I'll feel bad about it because I realized that she wasn't really selling anything except like her beauty and, you know, her body, and I was buying that for a time being until I got over the illusion, you know, whatever. And, you know, so there are illusory things out there. But if you're persuading people, it's generally because you have something better to offer. Now, to successfully persuade people, you need, first, rapport. Being on the same frequency with them, vibing with them. And to do that, you must be able to, one, distinguish your personality from what? You. Your personality and you. The program from the viewer of the program. Second thing you must do is, when you're in communication with people, distinguish your personality from the personality that you would be if you were vibing with them. So when you start talking with somebody, a lot of times you have rituals in your day. You like to listen to music or eat the foods that you do or do things in a rhythm in a certain sequence. And that's how you feel good, right? You feel the way you want to feel if you're doing things the way you want to do things. And then you start communicating with somebody, and sometimes it maybe like drags you down or doesn't feel right. It just takes you just a notch a little bit lower than where you would be otherwise. And that's because you're holding on to your personality while simultaneously trying to vibe with their personality. You're going to need to drop your personality. Now, the fear in the situation and just intellectually looking at the framework I'm saying is when you drop your personality, you'll lose yourself. And that's only true if you have not distinguished you from your personality. If you can distinguish the witness from your personality, then when you go for persuasion, it's very simple to just stay a hold of the witness and drop that part of your ego that is in conflict with the other person. Because if you hold to your personality while trying to vibe with somebody, while trying to persuade or communicate with them to be more harmonious with your environment and with other people, it's going to end up being one of these things where you're holding to your vocabulary, to your voice tone, to your emotional frequency, the way you want things to be, and then there's them, and they have their vocabulary, mood, and everything, and you're going like this. And the only way that cooperation will happen is if you overpower them. That's called coercion or bullying, and it can be very, very subtle, just like covert. And being a yogi, I'm really looking for harmony. I'm looking for non-coercion, checked aggression, not just blatant aggression. And I'm looking to let go more and more and more and more to the parts of me that just aren't me. Dissolve that shit. Let go of that. And if there's a part of me that's resisting communing with this other person, communication, to commune, to unite with this other person, then I want to drop that as fast as possible. And because my happiness isn't found there, and my happiness isn't found vibing with them either. My happiness is found in the experience of the self. But I'm in the world, and there are outcomes that I want. I want cooperation, I want safety, I want money, I want these things. To get that, I need to be in rapport with people. To be in rapport with people, I need the spiritual awareness that there's a me and there's a personality. Then I need a little bit of pragmatic awareness, meaning they have some pragmatic meanings like practical. They have some words that they're using. A lot of people they're holding too tight to their vocabulary. They're holding too tight to expressing themselves in a rigid and predictable way that's very kind of signature to them. And if you want to persuade and blend minds with more and more people, you will let go of your lexicon, meaning the database of vocabulary that you draw from. And you'll let go of your voice tone. You will meld with their voice tone. And when you begin to use their voice tone, use their vocabulary, not totally losing yours, but use the unique aspect of their vocabulary. They use some unique words, you use those words. They have a signature mood right now, which is kind of like a chronic emotion. So a mood is just an emotion that's persisting for a long time. If they have a mood, I'll just take on that tone. Until what? Okay, now the third phase. Until my inner body, my inner system, not the part of my nervous system that's clearly coordinating, the part of my nervous system that just feels based on stimuli of the environment without me thinking. I will wait for my feeling body to feel like they're vibing with me. I'll feel like they're giving attention. I'll feel like we're bonding, uniting. We're bonding. We're doing yoga in our communication. When we bond, then I can lead. Okay, so first, awareness of self from ego. Then, awareness of they're using vocabulary and tones that are signature to them in their state of mind right now. Then, step 3 is I will take on their words and take on, not take on like fight, but I'll adopt them. I will use them and integrate their words and their mood and tone with mine until I feel that we're bonding. When I feel that, step 4, final step, leading, then I can just gradually, over time, if you understand fractionation, I talk about it in my silent flute training program. I highly recommend if you want deeper on this, because this is just like bleh, I'm just like throwing it at you. But I give weekly lectures on the silent flute, and not every day, but about 3 to 4 videos a week, short practical videos. So I'm about to give some techniques in the silent flute. This is just a warm-up video. I'm giving it to you all for free. I'm going in the silent flute, which is a subscription program. You can see the link below. It's at ninthlimb.com / the silent flute or something. Just go to ninthlimb.com. You'll see group training. And that's how you get the archive of these kinds of techniques, plus hatha yoga, raja yoga, meditation, stretching, and breathing. But there's a lot of mindset involved in my process of yoga, because what you say to yourself before you attempt something colors that attempt. What you say to yourself before you do something gives a certain flavor to that something, before, whether it's a handstand or a meditation practice or a communication or a cell. I'm calling somebody. What am I saying to myself right before I pick up the phone? That's going to change my tone. So you start to see words are so paramount to living that what I need is communication with people externally so I can hear my voice, so I can really clarify what is my voice. So I distinguish self from ego. I notice they have unique words and a unique tone, a voice tone to their communication. Then I adopt their words and tone until I feel like we're bonding. Then I lead through just taking it to where I want to go. Do I want to be enthusiastic? Do I want to be more sorrowful and down? Do I want to talk about some problem or some solution and get it logical, but I had to handle their emotions first? So I build rapport first, and then I slowly just encourage the communication to move to where I want it. How? By just being that, by talking enthusiastically. But if I go at it initially from, let's say I'm enthusiastic and they're kind of down, and I want them to pick it up, and there is a time and a place to just come at them with lots of passion, lots of enthusiasm, lots of energy, and then you'll get one of these things. Or what you'll do is you'll have a bright fucking blowtorch right next to a candle, and the candle will ignite, and you'll ignite something in them. That's possible. That can happen. A lot of conflicts also come from that, from not knowing when is enough, or when is it not the right time to just bulldoze somebody into your state of mind. What you do is you take on their tone, take on their words. When you feel a bonding happening, when you feel that they're opening up to you, then start to change. Change your tone and just sprinkle it in there sometimes. And then every now and then get a little more enthusiastic and see if they'll take on your words and your tone. And at that point, then you know that you're in rapport, and then you're leading. And then you can lead them to solutions. Then they become receptive. Only once you have rapport will they become receptive to solutions. So I hope you found this video helpful. Like it, share it, And consider subscribing to the Silent Flute at ninthlim.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.